Bersiaplah menjemput letter of acceptance dan terbang melintasi batas negara demi studi Anda.
Baik, Bapak Ibu dan para hadirin yang kami hormati, kami ucapkan selamat siang dan selamat datang di Auditorium Universitas 11 Maret. Karena acara sebentar lagi akan dimulai, dimohon berkenan untuk bisa mengkondisikan suasana. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Berkah dalam, Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. The Honorable Deputy Chief of Mission, U.S. Embassy Jakarta, Ms. Heather Meritt. The Honorable Rector of Sebelas Maret University, which in this occasion is being represented by the Vice Rector 4 of UNS, Vice Rector for Planning, Collaboration, Internationalization and Information, Prof. Irwan Trinugroho, SA, MSc, PhD, QCRO. The Honorable Head of the Language Center of UNS, Muhammad Taufik Al-Ma'mun, SSMA, PhD. Also all of the distinguished guests and participants that are present in this room that cannot be mentioned one by one. First of all, let us praise the Almighty God that has given us such huge blessings so that we are given the chance to be here today attending the talk show to celebrate the 250th U.S. independence and collaboration between U.S. Embassy and Sebelas Maret University, titled Life as a Diplomat and Study in the United States. That is going to be delivered by our incredible speaker, Ms. Heather Meritt, and from the EducationUSA. Next up, allow me to introduce myself. I am Surya, your host for today. And for starters, let me read aloud the rundown of events that we are going to go through together today. First up, we have opening, followed by the singing of the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya. The third event is the opening remarks, followed by the group photo session. After it is done, it is going to be followed by the material sessions, and last but not least is the closing. And with that being said, it marks that the event has been opened. Let's immediately move on to the next agenda, which is the singing of Indonesia national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, you may rise. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. The next agenda is the opening remarks, and the first one is going to be delivered by the Vice Rector for of YNS, Vice Rector for Planning, Collaboration, Internationalization, and Information, Prof. Irwan Trinugroho, SA MSc PhD QCRO. To Prof. Irwan, the time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. So, the Honorable Ibu Heather Meritt, Deputy Chief of Mission of the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta. So, Ibu Deputy, so welcome to Universitas Sebelas Maret, or abbreviated as UNS, and also welcome to the Solo City. I think this is your first time in Solo City, right? And also Ibu Catherine and other colleague from the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta. And I would also like to introduce our colleague from UNS. I bring some Dean. So the first one is Dean from the Vocational School, Prof. Herman. Then the Deans of the Faculty of Humanities, Dr. Dwi Susanto. And you already know Pak Taufik. Pak Taufik is the head of the Language Center. And then the last one is the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science and Politics, Dr. Didi Gunawan. And also, thank you for all participants of this particular event today. So on behalf of the university, I would like to thank the U.S. Embassy for giving us the opportunity to be the host of the talk show on life as diplomat and study in the U.S. as a part of the Freedom's 250 programs celebrating the 250th anniversary of the American independence. So briefly about the university. So this is a comprehensive university consisting of 14 faculties and 2 schools, and home to more than 50,000 students. And we have, degree programs, especially in the undergraduate programs in international relations, which is related to the talk show today. And we have also some English-related programs at the undergraduate level, at the vocational level, and also at the master level. And then, we have some partnership with U.S. universities, including University of Houston, University of Kentucky, Purdue University, and Southern Illinois University, I think. And yeah, of course, especially in the Asians programs, and then research collaboration, and so on and so forth. So the topic of today's talk show is quite interesting. I think Deputy Meritt will share 2 important things. First, she will share about her long experience as a diplomat, and the second one is about the study in the US. I think some of the participants are the grantee of the LPDP, so they are taking, correct Pak Taufik ya? Yeah, some of them are LPDP grantee. They are taking English courses at the UNS, and hopefully in the 4 months or 6 months, they will get a good score of the English proficiency, and then they can apply to domestic and overseas universities. And hopefully some of them, they will study in the US, strongly hope. The first topic is, I think, is very important because, life as a diplomat is not easy, and Deputy Meritt will explain in detail her experience, long experience, 20 years, right? 20 years, more than 20 years experience as a diplomat. It's not only about professional works, but also how to manage the family and so on and so forth. I think there will be very challenging dealing with that kind of issues. And then the second topic is also interesting, especially for our students and also our faculty members. As we know, of course, US is still dominating in the top universities in the world, and I think according to QS and TSC, I think the top 10 universities, 8 of 9 universities are still in the US. So yes, of course, US university is still a popular destination for international students, not only because of the ranking, but also because of the diverse academic program and also strong in research and innovation. When I was young, twice I tried to apply to NYU and failed. And then I slowed down to Boston University and still do not get the acceptance. And then finally, I go to different islands. So yeah, I think studying in the US is still a dream of every single individual in Indonesia. So yeah, and hopefully more and more Indonesians will get degree from the US universities. Then I think there will be a detailed explanation about the studying in the US, dealing with maybe visa, immigration, and so on and so forth. So Deputy Merit will explain in detail, I think. And then yes, of course, I do hope that this event will also strengthen the partnership between US Embassy and also the university, and hopefully there will be more collaborative activities in the near future, especially on academic and cultural exchange programs. So yeah, hopefully there will be some concrete activities between the two institutions. Let's say, for example, a couple of years ago, we have the American corner, but now disappeared. So hopefully we can establish again the American corner in the university. And yeah, it's not only providing the information about studying in the US, but also I think some information about cultural side of the US in UNS will be beneficial for the student and also from the faculty members. So I think that's all for me without taking so much time. So thank you for joining this event, and I wish you a productive and informative talk show. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Prof. Irwan, for the opening remark. And the next opening remark is going to be from the Deputy Chief of Mission of U.S. Embassy Jakarta, Ms. Heather Meritt. To Ms. Meritt, the time is yours.
Selamat siang. Hello. So nice to be here in Solo this afternoon. I want to offer special thanks to the Vice Rector, Prof. Irwan, for that warm welcome, and to our moderator, and of course to Pak Taufik, who I think is going to come join me in a minute for our conversation. And of course, thank you to Universitas Sebelas Maret for welcoming the team from the U.S. Embassy today. It is a huge pleasure to be in Solo for the first time and to be here as part of our United States Embassy's Freedom 250 program. This year, in 2026, the United States marks 250 years since the signing of our Declaration of Independence. It's a moment to reflect on the ideals that continue to guide us: opportunity, civic responsibility, and the belief that people can build a better future through education and hard work. And as you'll see in our name of our celebration, it's also very much a celebration of a value that the United States and Indonesia equally hold dear, and that is freedom. Today's conversation has two parts. First, I want to share a little bit about what it means to be a diplomat, and a little bit about my biography, and how U.S. diplomacy can support peace and security and prosperity around the world. And secondly, my team who focuses on education in the United States, EducationUSA team, will talk about pathways for study in the United States and the practical steps you can take to explore those opportunities, which I hope many of you will. The United States and Indonesia have strong education and people-to-people ties. Thousands of Indonesians have studied in the United States and returned home with new skills, networks, and ideas. Many of them become leaders in government, business, and civil society. We have currently over 8,000 Indonesians studying across the United States, and our alumni network here is much, much bigger, over 19,000 active alumni of different US government-sponsored programs alone. And we're really proud of the way that people who've spent time in the United States partner with us and become ambassadors, so to speak, with us to help bridge our peoples together. So thank you for joining today. I look forward to the talk show and to answer your questions and hopefully have a very lively discussion. Thank you. Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you so much, Ms. Meritt, for the opening remark. Please, can we remain here first, Miss, for the group photo session? Yes. And before that, we would like to hand out some memorabilia to you, Miss, to the Deputy Chief of Mission, U.S. Embassy, Jakarta, Ms. Heather Meritt, and to Prof. Irwan, as the Vice Rector 4 of UNS. Please be kind enough to come up to the stage to hand out the memorabilia. To the documentation team, please be ready to capture the snapshots of today's event. Thank you so much. Okay, I also would like to invite from EducationUSA to join with us here to do the group photo. And please turn around, Ms. Meritt and Prof. Irwan. I think it's better if we do it down here. And to ladies and gentlemen from the audience, please come closer. Silakan mendekat, karena kita setelah ini akan mengadakan sesi foto bersama dengan para narasumber kita pada siang hari ini. Mari Bapak Ibu, silakan supaya bisa kelihatan. Yeah, facing the stage, Miss. Perhaps you can step back a bit, Miss. Yes. Is it good? Lagi? Okay. Lagi? Mari Bapak Ibu, silakan Bapak Ibu yang merasa ingin mejeng bisa lebih mendekat lagi. Oke, udah masuk frame semua, Mas? Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you may return to your seat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now arriving at the material session. This session is going to be led by a moderator, in which it is going to be none other than our beloved Head of Language Center of UNS, Mr. Muhammad Taufik Al-Ma'mun, SSMA, PhD. or is commonly known as Mr. T. So a brief introduction. Pak T ini, Pak Taufik ini, Mr. T is an academician specializing in the transnational study of the American culture with a focus on transnational identity, digital media, and American socio-cultural practices and their global impact. This includes their relationship to Javanese and Indonesian cultural sovereignty. A two-time Fulbright scholar, he also taught at Columbia University in 2007 and earned his PhD from Bowling Green State University in 2024, where his dissertation examined globalization's impact on street vendor culture in Indonesia. And his MA is from Utrecht University, the Netherlands. With nearly 2 decades of experience at UNS, he teaches English, American Cultural Studies, Media and Digital Humanities. His previous roles include Director of the UNS International Office, and this afternoon, he blesses us with his presence to lead the material session along with our incredible speakers today. Now let's warmly welcome him by giving a big round of applause to Mr. T, ladies and gentlemen. And please, Mr. T, you may come up to the stage.
Okay, thank you, Surya, for the introduction. And I would like to say good afternoon to everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, also welcome to GPH Haryo Mataram Auditorium, because some of you is also coming from LBTB program, that you are coming from different part of Indonesia, but for when a student, maybe it's already your playground. Okay, so yeah, today we are opening a window to the world, as we will have a talk show, not only to study the USA, but we will also, at the first session, we will have the Deputy Chief of Mission, to start the first session on the talk show of life as a diplomat. We are deeply honored that to welcome Miss Heather Meritt. Please, join me on the stage. So, I would like to briefly introduce her. So, Miss Heather Meritt, please join me. Thank you. Is a career foreign service officer with over 25 years of experience in the U.S. Department of State, and she joined the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta, Indonesia, right now as the Deputy Chief of Mission. Started in August 2024 and served previously as the same position, DCM in South Africa. So this is like the site before in Indonesia. And also the US Consul General in Johannesburg. So Ms. Heather worked as a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State in the Bureau of International Narcotic and Law Enforcement Affairs, or INL, in Washington. Used to be. Okay. And she was a DCM at the U.S. Embassy in Luanda, Angola, and had a prior diplomatic assignment in Botswana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and also Mexico. Is pretty much all over the world, and as well as several tours in Washington. So she joined the Department of State since 1996. Oh wow. 1998. Okay. So Heather is a native of Illinois with a BA and MA in political science from Northern Illinois University, and her MS in National Resource Strategy from the Dwight D. Eisenhower School for National Security and Resource Strategy at National Defense University. So here is husband Scott Meritt, and there are 2 children join her in Indonesia, but I just have a conversation with her that, the first child now back to the United States in Iowa. So, Ms. Meritt, so I give the floor to you, like in the next 20 to 30 minutes, and then we will have a conversation with the audience regarding the life as a diplomat. Looking at, you already been traveling around the world. Okay.
Well, thank you again, Pak Taufik. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, students. part of the presentation that we've kind of already done, because biography was part of what we were going to talk about, is just to say that I've had the pleasure of doing this for a long time. I think many of you in this room are probably have had fewer years of age than I have with the State Department as a diplomat. So 28 years of serving, being a public servant, working for government of the United States and representing my country internationally, which is something my colleagues and I are very proud of. I think if we're gonna just quickly, we can advance to other slides. We were gonna use some examples of my life to talk a little bit about what diplomacy is, what diplomats do, and so Pak Taufik talked a little bit about education. Maybe I'll just say I grew up in a working class family in a small town in Illinois, which is middle of the country, mostly an agricultural state, but the big city many of you will have heard of is called Chicago. Maybe you know the Chicago Bulls from basketball or some of the other sports teams. And went to university nearby. We have a system of many, many excellent public universities across the United States. So traveled to one near my home where I did an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree in political science. And then for us, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has annual examinations every year. And so it's a very democratic process. If you wish to enter the service, the public service, you need to prove that you have an understanding of foreign languages, of geography, of history, of culture. You need to pass a very serious background check. And it's extremely competitive to take those exams, but as a very young person, younger than many of you in this room, I passed those exams and I started as a diplomat. So there's a little bit of information up there about what it's like. It varies based on the year, how many people we hire, but for us, the foreign service is what we call our diplomatic corps, is based on a military model. The diplomats have a rank, it's in their person, and you are reviewed each year for promotion based on your personal achievements over time, and can rise up in the ranks over time, like a military officer would go from a sergeant to an officer perhaps, and go up from a major to a colonel, etc. So yeah, so we can just have a conversation.
Okay,
yeah.
That's really interesting. Maybe some from the floor is also coming from international relation. Can you raise your hand if you're coming from international relation?
Or political science.
For political
yeah.
science?
Maybe not.
Mm. Oh, maybe they're shy.
Maybe they're language students. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, you're moving a lot on your post.
Yes.
What about the cultural adaptation with the new situation in a different country?
So cultural adaptation is a big part of the job. The thing that I tell our diplomats, and I also tell audiences like you around the world, is that diplomacy fundamentally is a people business. Although you're working for government, what our job is to connect with people around the world and to find common cause and to advance things together that are in our mutual interest. And so a big part of that is flexibility. Pak Taufik mentioned, I think I've done 7 overseas assignments in countries as varied as Indonesia, Mexico, South Africa, Nigeria. Every one of them is quite different. Often language studies are a big part of succeeding and getting to know people. But even like in Indonesia, unfortunately, I came straight from South Africa. I didn't have time to do language training. Maaf, I'm very sorry. I wish I could speak with you more in Bahasa Indonesian. But cultural knowledge, sort of flexibility, as you say, is really important. We spend a lot of time looking at the history and the culture of a place, understanding do's and don'ts so that we can make the best case, make friendships across different institutions, and find ways to work together in our mutual interests. So in this case, for the good of Indonesia, the good of the United States.
Okay. That's interesting when you said about do and don't entering a new cultural environment. Maybe some of in the floor, maybe you're not as what is it, to say like anybody want to continue study in the US in this room? Maybe you can raise your hand.
They're very shy, but I see lots of hands.
Yeah. Okay, I saw many hands
Me too.
raised over there. Okay, so like, what do you want to say for Indonesian student who will like, what is it, continue study in the U.S. culturally? What they need to prepare?
Well, I think you're doing the right thing. First of all, you're studying at a world-class institution, so you're raising your academic standards, being here at UNS. And you're working on your language skills, which is a really important part of success if you were to go to an English language country, including the United States, of course, for another degree, or even an exchange program for a semester or a year. And so working on your fluency and your comfort reading, writing, speaking in English, being targeted and focused about what it is you want to get out of a study experience, I think is also important. And I know my colleagues are going to talk to you more about choosing the best place. But we have, I think it's over 9,000 different colleges and universities in the United States. Some of them are very small. Some of them are big like UNS. Like my son is at a school with 30 or 40,000 other students. That are comprehensive, that have, like here, like 16 faculties. Yeah. Some are only studying something very specific. So I think knowing yourself, your skills, being a good writer, being a good thinker, having good discipline about studying and doing your assignments on time are all really important.
Okay, yeah. Well, still, what is it about the study, and you're mentioning about big and small. Yeah, many in the United States, many university is like a college town, right?
Yes.
And then maybe when we are in Indonesia or Indonesian student imagining about the US, they always think about like a big city like New
Right.
York and then Chicago.
Yeah.
What is like your advice to those right now who like to continue study in the US?
Now, it's a great question, Pak, and I think we mentioned I have two children. So I have one who just started university and the other in grade 12 who starts in August. So I've been through thinking about this a lot lately with my own family. There is a lot to be said for going to school in a big town like New York, where everything is available, every kind of food. We call New York, the Big Apple, the city that never never sleeps. Sorry, it does speak. But the problem is there can be a lot of distractions, and it can also be very expensive to live in a very large city. I think that's something people don't always realize is cost of living varies depending on where you go. My son is in Iowa, which is a small agricultural state in the middle of the country. He's in a large university, but the town is only 50,000 people beyond the university. And so there are many different options. I think people they should do more homework, because the schools you've heard of or the cities you've heard of are not always the best options, and they're not the only options.
Okay, yeah. So before I give the mic to the floor, so I think they might have also a question. I still also have a question regarding the lives as a diplomat, because you're moving from one country to the other. Like, can you just mention, because it might also be the future experience of the student that
I hope so.
would like to pursue higher education outside of Indonesia. Like, what is like the most challenging, like a cultural barrier that you've been encountered, like during your experience since, as a diplomat? Yeah.
I think language is always the hardest, and so this is the first country I've come to where I didn't that didn't speak English as a common language, that I didn't get trained for. So I actually find it challenging, but I've been amazed at the welcoming and kindness of the people of Indonesia, and people's willingness to accept a few broken words of Bahasa Indonesian, and their skill with English across the country is amazing. But language is number one. Communication is key, right? Anywhere new. And I think just culture shock. Food is really important to feeling comfortable in a place, understanding and feeling that people are interested in sort of either tasting the same things you do or getting accustomed to the food in a new place. can be really challenging. And I'll just say culture, thinking about sort of aggressiveness versus passivity. So for example, I worked in Nigeria, which is a very populated, big country, largest population in Africa. And so a little bit like Indonesia, high population density. And Nigerians have a pretty aggressive culture. They're like the New Yorkers of Africa. And then I moved to southern Africa to a country called Botswana, which is a beautiful, peaceful country. It is the size of the state of Texas, but only about less than 2 million people. So quiet, small, and everyone is the same ethnic group. Very cattle raising, like rural place. And the pace is very slow, and people are very shy, I would say. So thinking about how to tailor how aggressive or how gentle you are in your messaging can be really important about new culture.
Okay, yeah, so again, like entering new environment, need like to blend, adapting, and so on.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite international food that?
I have lots of favorite international foods from around the world. I mean, I've had the pleasure of, Indonesian food is amazing. Everyone loves nasi goreng. Everyone loves gado-gado. Everyone loves the foods they try here. Satay, satay is global food. In South Africa, they actually have a lot of South Asian influence, and they make a great curry. They also do incredible beef, like they're ranchers. They love to grill meat, so there's some really good grilled meat. Mexico, Americans generally love Mexican food, or our version of Mexican food. So, we like spicy tacos. Spicy food is very popular with Americans, including me.
Spicy food, yeah. I think Indonesia is like
Indonesia
place
has
of
great spicy food, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I still keep like a question, but
Yeah.
I think it's also great to
Absolutely, to integrate
give
the audience.
floor if you have a question. So I think it's already like we know like the life of diplomat that the DCM's already
That's okay.
experience, yeah. And then now I would like to invite, if you would like to know, it's about like a cross-cultural understanding, like because she already experienced, or even like the life as diplomat. Yeah, please. Anybody from the floor? Okay, yeah,
There's a
from the
brave
corner.
soul.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you very much. So my name is Waqas, and I'm actually from Pakistan. And I've been already in 2 countries, in Thailand and now in Indonesia.
Wow.
So, like, I know it's not easy to be an international student, especially in a country where there is like international education is not that common. Like, I don't have any international class fellow here, so
Yeah.
all are like local. So the challenge that in the beginning I faced, like, it is very fortunate when I got here, I did not have to go directly to my department. So before that, I spent 6 months in the Indonesian language classroom. So
Wonderful.
like those 6 months really helped me to adapt to the culture here and to understand the psychology of people around me. So when I was to the department later on, I was like fully prepared. What I want to say that, for example, if I go to a country and have to start the department directly, I do not get a chance to understand the culture. And I immediately take the burden of the studies, especially in the master's, like by research degrees or PhDs. So if we compare it to the US universities, previously I secured admission in the Louisiana State University and also in the Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. But due to the, a lot of, I cannot comment on that, so I got rejected from the embassy as a visa, so I could not make it to the US. So for example, like, I did not know this thing from before, that we have the cultural burden with academic burden. So if we have like to spend 6 months or 1 year before we join the academia, it would be really helpful in order to adapt to the culture before we go to the department. But if we look at the US universities, there is nothing like that. Like no cultural programs before we start our PhD or master's. So what would be your strategy or tip in order to take these both challenges at a time in a way that my cultural side doesn't affect my academic side and my academic burden does not affect my mental level, because I have to deal a lot of people when I go out of the classroom. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So from Pakistan, I think like, yeah, thank you. So the question is like the burden. It's not only academic life, but also culture outside of the, maybe what is like
Well, I think
your
we both
advice?
may have
Yeah.
some things to offer with your cross-cultural studies background. Look, I think you're absolutely right that the more time you have to adapt to language and culture, it helps you succeed as a student. I think we do have in some US programs students who come early, sometimes to do several months of language and cultural studies. I think there are some programs where people study sort of top up English language ahead of a bachelor's or even a master's program, and our team can talk about it more. But even in this era where we don't always have time and money, I would just say virtual encounters with the culture can be helpful. I know my daughter is getting ready for exams in Spanish, and we're watching like telenovelas on Netflix in Spanish. The things that you can do to interact with getting a picture of what life and culture in a place is like through a podcast, a movie, a television show is something. It's not ideal. And then I would just say, at least at universities I'm familiar with in the United States, we have pretty active foreign student offices or international student offices that do a lot of orientation programming, sometimes match students with host families or host contacts. And I think those are really valuable if you're offered such an opportunity to take advantage of leaning in to the support about language, culture, everything from like where to find a winter coat at a good price to, you know, a family that might offer you a friendly meal.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I think international student community, right? Yeah, like, yeah, it's going to be helpful, yeah, to bridge, yeah, in a new space, yeah. Okay, so I still invite like other question, if you still have. On the floor. Yeah, they're over there, yeah. Yes, in this side, yes.
Hello, Miss Maret.
Hi.
Really nice to meet you. I'm Gwendolyn. I'm from IELTS class. Let me take a break. Okay. So we're coming for like English enrichment program from the LPDP previously mentioned, and because I come from STEM background, I really want to know why you choose life as a diplomat, and like how you convince like younger generation, hey, let's follow my footsteps, and why it's US, from like real reasons, like why you should come like really real reasons, like what we do have, and as a diplomat, why you want to serve your country, something like that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I think
So thank you so much. Look, I think as a student, I was always interested in languages and foreign cultures, history, learning about not only my own country, but why other countries did things differently. And I had an opportunity as a university student to do a semester in the Czech Republic, in Prague, when it was actually just new as the Czech Republic. And in the 90s, and so it was still kind of an unusual thing for Americans to study there. And it was a wonderful opportunity for me, and the first time I saw what a US office overseas, an embassy or a consulate, could do to help and protect citizens, to advance trade relationships, security relationships, all the things that we do. And I decided to just, the way we often do as university students, take the exam because I thought it would be a good paying, good job, and it has been. But I think most of us are motivated in the same way that our military colleagues are, that we're devoted to public service, we're patriotic, we want to do things to help our country, but in addition to do it in a way that advances global understanding and world peace.
Yeah, thank you. Any other question? Yeah. While you're thinking, I will come back if you have a question. I think also the last question is connecting to what we have talked earlier, that life as a diplomat is also nomadic.
True.
Yeah, it's also challenging, right? I mean, living from one place and then
Yes.
next to the other country, and you also have a family.
Yeah.
How you cope with that?
I mean, it's-
moving. It's not only
yeah.
cities, right?
Well, I mean, I have to give huge credit to my husband and my children for being flexible and providing me with support their entire lives in the case of my children, and for many years with my husband, not quite as many as I've been with the State Department. It's really hard on spouses and partners because their job often gets disrupted. There are many places we go that they can't work. And so it's challenging. My husband's been able to work remotely from many places to keep work in the United States. That's been a blessing, but it's hard, especially with the time zone differences here. And my children were born nomadic. They don't know any different. And so they were born while we lived in Nigeria, and 3 years later they lived in Botswana, and a few years later they lived in another place. The plus side of that is it opens their eyes to the fact that there are many good things and good people in the world. They're not rigid, they're flexible. And they know and care about the world. And my son is now surprised at how sometimes his peers at university don't know about the world in the way that he does.
Flexible and care the word, but I think there's like a two.
Global.
Yeah, important.
Global
And
citizen.
global, yeah, the sense of global. So now, go back to our theme today, that what brought you here is also the celebration of the 25th of the United States.
Indeed.
What does it mean to you as a diplomat? I mean, the 250.
I mean, first of all, I think I'm very proud as a citizen to be reminded that we, like Indonesia, like so many countries, had to fight for our independence, that we achieved our independence after declaring independence from the UK and fighting with our colonial power at that time. And we did so based on a constitution and principles that were rooted not only in kind of the Anglo-Saxon legal tradition, but some of the ideals of France and the French Revolution. And I think, like Indonesia and so many partner nations, we're dedicated to freedom and to all men being created equal. And I go back to the words of our founding fathers. I'm really proud of that.
Thank you. Also, many of right now on the floor might also thinking would like to continue study in the U.S. So what will you say to them about United States? For them to imagine if they're becoming a student in the U.S.?
Well, first of all, I would just say the United States welcomes you. Indonesia is the 4th largest country in the world and growing. And there are only about 8,400 Indonesians studying in the U.S., which is actually quite low for 280 plus million people. So we would love to have more of you. I think considering how important Indonesia is, Americans don't know enough about it, and I would love for you to come be ambassadors for your country in communities across the United States. I want people in Florida and Missouri and California and Alaska to know about your food and your traditions and your artistry and your culture. And other nations that are this size, like India, you think about how many Indians are living, working, diaspora in the United States, many, but Indonesia's not that, you're not so far behind. So I would love to see more. I think the biggest tip I have is to be thoughtful about the breadth of opportunities. There's something in the United States for everyone. We're a really large country with so many different climates and sizes of population, and people are friendly and curious in most places.
Thank you. Also, I will still come back to the floor if you have a question before we conclude, because Ms. Heather Meritt not having much time, right? Yeah.
I think I've got about 15 more minutes.
Okay, 15 more minutes. So if you have like a question, please, you can raise your hand. Okay, so we have over there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon, Mr. Heather Meritt. My name is Isti, and I'm also the graduate from this university, from Universitas Sebelas Maret. In 2024, I and my team is being a delegation from Universitas Sebelas Maret to go to the US, to Florida, in a robot competition. And at that time, I and my team is also have a big dreams that can study in the United States. Because at the time, we have a lot of friends from Massachusetts and then from Michigan and also Cornell. But when I graduated from my bachelor and discussed with my friend to take the study in the developed country, we feel afraid because we come from developing country and maybe we have a different education environment with the developed country. My question is, can you give us the motivation or like persuasion that we couldn't afraid about the study abroad? And yeah, this is my question. Thank you.
Well, Boo, congratulations to you and your team. That's
Yes.
really great. You're representing Indonesia in the world. I mean, I think the best answer to your question maybe is to say, you and your team, did you feel welcome? Did you enjoy your stay in Florida? Because it sounds to me like you had a very successful visit, which means you absolutely have everything it takes to succeed.
Okay, my experience when I go to the US is that the people in USA is very friendly. The first day we land on Florida, everyone say, "Hello Indonesia, how about your
nice.
journey? Hi, welcome to Florida." And a lot of people mentioned about my veil. They said, "Oh, your hair is very beautiful." And yes, and the friend from the team inside us from Michigan is give us the like what they say. They say to us that we are the best smelling food team because every day we eat the Indonesian food
nice.
into the. Yes.
Well, I think it's true. Indonesians are the friendliest people in the world. So you obviously showed well for your country in Florida. But I think what I'm trying to say to motivate you is everyone in this room is welcome and capable of succeeding, whether it's a competition or a US program. Sometimes the financing is challenging and it's not for everyone. Some people are happier in the environment they know, the level of kind of flexibility, and you have to be a bit courageous to move around the world to a new country, to be far from family, far from friends. But you have that courage, and so you've already had a success. And I would just say be brave. Be brave. Take a chance if you're interested. And it's okay if you're not interested. There are great things to study here in Indonesia.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you mention what is the name of the program?
The program is International Robot Competition by RoboNation.
Okay,
Is it
International Robotic
Robotics.
Competition.
Okay,
Robotic
got it.
competition.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And also tomorrow in the Colomadu there will be like an event held by U.S. Embassy, and there are also a lot of information about U.S. related program, especially
Yes.
for Indonesian.
Yeah.
So you are interested, you can join the program tomorrow. We will give you the information later on. Okay, so go back to the floor. If you still have question, please do. Okay, over here. I think they start. Tolong mic-nya ada di sini. Nah.
Hello, Miss Merit.
Hello.
Thank you for your sharing. I noticed earlier that one of your slides outlined the stages you've gone through in your career, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so,
And
yeah.
the question is, what if someone who is just beginning their studies in the US, where should we start? Where should we start if we aspire to this role? I am personally extremely wanted to become a diplomat one day, and based on your experience and your perspective, how is someone with a science background, non-political or non-social background, is generally perceived when they aim to pursue a diplomatic career? That's it.
I think,
Thank
Boo,
you.
that's a fantastic question. I can speak for the United States Foreign Ministry. I can't speak for how KEMLU chooses its employees here at the ministry. But I will just say that we increasingly recognize science and technology cooperation as a big part of global affairs and of trade and economic development. And so we are actively seeking more graduates who have a science and technology background. You know, just this week we had new meetings on energy cooperation. We have a new effort on semiconductor development. So diplomats and trade officials at embassies and consulates around the world are trying to find ways to improve supply chains, deepen global trade ties. You know, we're in the middle of finalizing a trade agreement with Indonesia that should have greater U.S. investment here, but also two-way sales of products between our countries, leading to more jobs for more Indonesians. And so from our perspective, we have a sort of a group of diplomats who specialize in trade, economic development, the economy, and science and technology is a focus.
Okay. Yeah, because the collaboration is not limited on the
Absolutely.
people to people, also economic, science.
I mean, at
and
least in our
technology.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we need doctors because
Yeah.
we have sort of doctors and nurses who help at our embassies keep our families safe. We need public health specialists to partner with other governments. We have military colleagues. We have security officers who help to make sure that our houses are safe and cooperate with TNE and with the police here. We have a whole range of expertise, finance, business majors who help run our books and our procurements, everything.
Okay, yeah. Any other question? Yeah, okay.
Hi, Ms. Meritt.
Hi.
Thank you for the opportunity and also thank you for the insightful talk. My name is Najmuddin Masuku and I'm an awardee of LPDP Scholarship, the Indonesian Government Scholarship.
Great.
And I want to pursue my study at the United States, Purdue University. And I plan to take my wife with me. However, the scholarship will not cover her. So my question is regarding the visa. What is the financial proof or documents should I prepare for her during our stay in the United States? Thank you.
So it's a great question. You know, we will have a talk tomorrow that we can provide more details on with our team that does the visa processing, so they can get into some of the details. Look, anyone who's applying for a U.S. visa, our standard is to understand that they've got financial ties and economic and sort of social ties that will motivate them to return to Indonesia, to be a non-immigrant, and to maintain themselves while they're in the U.S. So on the spouse, it is fairly common for students to bring spouses, children. That part is not uncommon. I can't speak to your economic side of it and what the scholarship covers, but typically the costs are not so much more for a husband and wife than they are just for one student. It's really food. I mean, housing you share, another
Very
plane
possible.
ticket, right? I think it's
Yeah.
not uncommon for people to bring spouses, sometimes children, while they study.
Right. Yeah, so that's possible because I can speak on behalf of my experience. So I was also with my wife and daughter when I was studying in the US. So yeah, the visa is also possible, like a F2 or J2 for spouse that you can. But like,
It's
yeah.
different for every individual, so
Yeah,
we can't
for
speak to a
every
specific
individual,
case, but the
yeah.
costs are not so much higher.
Yeah, yeah. It's as long as can finance like the equal with the monthly lives, and it is covered, just to make sure that like they can live in the United States, with the financial support that you have. Okay, so the detail, if you really interested on it, tomorrow there will be event in the Colomadu that you can join and you can have more information. I think I saw like other question before. Yeah, it's now I have like a 2, yeah? Okay. Yeah. Here and then go back.
So, hi, Miss Mary. Thank you so much for this sharing session. It's wonderful, and I want to ask questions regarding, how to say, it's like a student loan or a global scholarship from the university in United States of America. So, as I was remembered that some of my friends from Papua, they got scholarships, but however, the payment regarding the scholarships to the university, it was late. It's kind of like 3 months to 6 months, and in university you need to take some credits you need if you want to attend the class. However, they still have no money to take some credit units, but I heard from them that they got a student loan or they got the global scholarships from the university. So maybe you can share some information to me and my fellow friends regarding the loan or something. So if we face the problem, we can have like the advice or the recommendation for that. Thank you so much.
No, thanks, Boo. I would just say that our next presentation, they can get into more details about the different ways to finance. There are so many different scholarships depending on who's funding it. Many universities and colleges offer their own. Some are through foundations, some are through governments, so it varies widely. Loans are not as common, at least from the U.S. government, for international students, although there might be some banking institutions that offer that type of credit, but I wouldn't be the expert on that, so thank you.
Yeah, if you have a question about like detail in study in the USA, right away after this we will have the session. Yeah, okay. So we still have one question over there.
But we're glad for the interest.
Thank you for the opportunities to ask you. And actually, I'm a high school student in one of school in Solo, SMA Batik 1 Surakarta. My name is Azra. I just want to ask you, if you could speak to your high school self, what would you tell them about preparing for a diplomatic life? Because I want have a dream to be a diplomat career. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, Adra. The world was really different. I won't tell you what year I graduated high school. I'm going to feel really old. I would tell my high school self that you can do it and don't give up. I don't think my high school self even dreamed that I would live outside the United States or have this successful career and be a senior government executive. So I'm very proud of myself. And I just think, just keep trying, study, make connections, raise your hand. My biggest advice to everyone is volunteer for things in the classroom, outside the classroom. Make it known that you want to try. And if you offer yourself, good things will happen.
Okay. Yeah. So just do it, right? And make
Do
it
Just do it.
happen. Okay. So I think that's also how the way that we conclude. Just do it, make it happen, and that's also times we already got a warning.
Yeah.
So yeah, Miss Heather Meritt. Yeah,
Thank
thank you so much. It's been like a wonderful afternoon to have the
Thank you.
discussion, and I hope that it's going to be like inspiring for those right now in the floor. Yeah, there are like three important words that I might be highlighting from you. Yeah, it's
Maybe,
like, you know, like
yeah.
being international with what is it, your experience. You said about like be flexible.
Be flexible.
Yeah, and then care with people and being global.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Terima
Yeah,
kasih.
for this inspiring talk, and please run a big applause to Miss Heather Meritt. Yeah.
Terima kasih banyak.
Yeah. Terima kasih. Yeah. So the Deputy Chief of Mission of the United States Embassy in Jakarta. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, once again, thank you to the Deputy Chief of Mission of the United States Embassy in Jakarta. So now I would like to invite Mbak Santika to come join me on the stage, and we would like to continue our discussion and study in the USA. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, before we start, Mbak Santika ini ya. Oke, so kita langsung ini aja ya.
Yes.
Oke, saya perkenalkan sebentar boleh?
Boleh.
Ya. Yuk, mari, please welcome Mbak Santika Salim, and she's right now an advisor with Education USA Indonesia, and with over 6 years of experience based on the US Embassy in Jakarta. Yeah, and Mbak Santika provides guidance to students nationwide on finding the best fit universities.
That's right.
Ya. Kalau yang mau kemana tadi mikir kalau ke US ya. So right now we have right person to us ya. And securing scholarship and what kind of program that we want to pursue from the US scholarship. And she's also an alumni from the Washington State University. Yeah, and of course then she has like the experience and then the journey from the first hand. Okay, Mbak
Thank you
Santika.
so much, Pak
Okay, I give
Taufik.
the time to you. I
Yes.
just be here. If you need me, let
Of
me
course.
know. And then we can just have,
Yes.
you know, like a relaxed afternoon
Okay.
talking about education in the USA. Now I would like to offer to you. Do you want to have the discussion in Bahasa Indonesia or in English?
English.
In English.
Ada yang jawab bahasa? Siapa? Oh, English. Okay, I love this. So I've been paying a lot of attention to what Pak Taufik and Bu Heather was talking about, and I'm so happy that most of the questions involve study in the US. That means your interest, your passion to study in US is very, very high. Within this crowd, especially on this side. I'm hoping I will get more from this side, hopefully. Pak Taufik, but I guess, so we both are US alumni.
Alumni.
So honored to know you, Pak. And when I was, when you were introduced with all of your experience, I'm like so amazed because you teach in one of the most prominent US university. And it's called Ivy League. Kalau teman-teman tahu Ivy League, itu sekolah cuma 8, tapi orang cuma taunya Harvard, Yale, MIT, Columbia, and nobody knows about Brown and Dartmouth, right? And I can't even remember all of them by now. Tapi Pak Taufik mengajar you taught in one of the most prominent US university, which is Columbia University, and I feel like you spend more time in the States than me. Coba, how many years? 5 years. So definitely more years than me. So I spent about 3 years in the US for my bachelor degree. I came back and I somehow became thrown into the education field, and I turns out to enjoy it because it's very enlightening to see fellow Indonesians are so fired up to study in the US and get the experience that I think everybody should try to experience once in their lifetime. Setuju ya Pak ya? Setuju. Jadi di sini aku mau teman-teman tahu Education USA karena kita itu menteri luar negerinya Amerika Serikat. So I'm just going to show the slides here. I hope it's not too small for you, but I will
help you by reading it out and kind of translate some parts that I think are quite difficult to understand in Bahasa Indonesia, okay? So bear with me, this is the theory, quote unquote, and I put the title today for Pursue Your Graduate Studies in the USA because this title is longer and more specific for you to pursue your graduate studies. It's what I tailor because most of you, if not all of you, are already a university student, right? So I want you to think about your future as a graduate student, S2 dan S3-nya, begitu. Okay, mengikuti jejak Pak Taufik tentunya, okay? And Education USA, okay, so my name is Santika. I am one of the advisor for Education USA Indonesia, and Education USA is a Department of State network. Jadi kita itu menteri luar negerinya Amerika Serikat langsung, ya, yang bergerak di higher education-nya. Jadi we are giving information and consultation, everything free of charge. Whatever we do is to help the student to study in the United States for bachelor, master, or PhD level, right? Even sometimes we focus on the full degree, S1, S2, S3, but if you come to us for the exchange program under the US Embassy, like YSEALI or something like that, you can still ask questions and we'll still do our best to help answer your question, okay? So again, Education USA exists in 170 plus countries. So for example, we had the first question from someone from Pakistan, am I right? And I Googled it up and we are there. So there are Education USA Pakistan, and if you are not from Indonesia, feel free to Google up Education USA and then your country name. If it pops up and they have a team, you can book a consultation free of charge. Okay, they can answer your question in your native language, which helps, of course, right? And also, what else did I take note earlier when Heather was explaining? So we have 430 international student advising centers, and that means more or less in each country we usually have 2 to 3 centers. And I want to let you know that Indonesia is a big team, and that resonates with what Bu Heather said. We want more. US wants more Indonesians to study in the United States. Therefore, of course, they have to invest and make the team more elaborate to help most of the Indonesians who wants to study in the States. Next. All right, so how many states US have? Siapa cepat dia dapat. There's a prize. There you go. White shirt. White shirt, third row. 1, 2, 3, in the middle. Yes. Can you stand up, please? There you go. Coba berapa? How many states?
50 states.
50 states, correct. Yay. Woo. Okay, one more biar bangun so that you can wake up from this, slump. We call it a slump after lunch and coffee break time gitu kan. Okay, Liberty Statue. In which state is Liberty Statue located? Oh, we got this lady. She actually tried for the first question. She didn't get it, and she tried it. It's good. It's mentally, she's ready to apply to US universities, because sometimes it's not like fairy tale. You usually watch YouTube videos, right? But like how to get into Harvard, what to write, blah blah blah. It's like fairy tale, like first try, get in, get scholarship and everything, but real life is not like that, okay? So,
New York City?
Sorry?
New York City.
Yeah, correct. Well, it's New York State, but you got the answer correct technically. All right, I hope you're all more awake now. Okay, so if you see this map that I like to put in my presentation, it's basically to show you how big US is, and it's kind of, we were talking about, I was talking with one of the RELO fellows, and she started being stationed in Bandung for probably a year now or something, for some time now, and then she's like, oh yeah, and we talk, right, and she said, oh, it's very interesting that I said US is very different geographically from Indonesia, in a sense that in US you can just drive from one state to another state and to another state until the end of the continent itself. For Indonesia, you cannot. ya gak ada jembatannya nggak bisa because we are separated by the sea, right? We are islands, we're archipelago country. So it's very different in a sense that if you bring this kind of perspective of what you experience in your field or what you study, it is such a plus point. Itu baru satu hal. It's just one thing. So if you can think of different perspective that you can bring as an Indonesian, you definitely have a lot to bring and competitiveness to, study in the United States. Tadi siapa yang tanya di sini kayak gimana kurang pede untuk to face the challenge of academic difference because US is a developed country and we are like developing country. No, they need a perspective from Indonesia. So I want to boost your confidence there. If you and your team are selected to represent Indonesia just for one thing like robotic competition, you can talk about how hard it is to find robotic parts in Indonesia, right? And that makes sense because we are still a developing country, not many people know about robotics and yada yada yada. So that's an example, okay? So I want you to know there are so many opportunities that there are 4,000 plus US universities that are accredited. Ini yang terakreditasi ya, 4,000 lebih, hampir 5,000 US university. And if we pukul rata ya, kita pukul rata nih ya contoh ya, satu universitas, one state university, satu universitas negeri per satu state itu udah 50. Never ever someone who applied to 50 US universities get 0 letter of acceptance. Never. Okay, so that means if you want to study to US and you say I cannot go because no school will accept me, it means you just don't apply to enough US universities. Okay? Exactly. You only apply to Ivy League. And it's not for you. A lot of people think Ivy League is for them because they have 3.9 or 4.0 GPA, but those schools don't only, and US universities in general, they don't only look at your GPA, betul nggak Pak Taufik? Right? They don't only see your GPA, but they also see who you are as a person, what you are passionate about, what kind of experience you have inside, outside of the classroom, in community, what is your, how do you deal with stress? There's actually a question in the application essay, I think it was Harvard, kalau nggak salah. Pertanyaannya, how do you deal with stress? What do you do when you're stressed? So some people, they are very, play it safe. They say something like, oh, I go to community to volunteer. I try to feed the stray cats on the street, right? You know, the people who actually got accepted, what they wrote, oh, I watch movies. I sing in the shower, and they got accepted. So there's no golden formula to be accepted to certain US universities. You just have to do your best in your application, and I'll show you what they actually ask in their application in terms of general requirements. Next. Okay, so I want you to know that there are plenty of opportunities, especially in recent years. LPDP is one of the most used scholarship for Indonesians especially. Dan LPDP itu nggak cuman reguler. Jadi teman-teman, if you are not from Jakarta or major islands or cities in Indonesia, ini kayaknya ngikutin KTP ya. Please double check. If your ID is not from major islands in Indonesia or major cities in Indonesia and it falls into targeted atau area yang memang difokuskan oleh pemerintah Indonesia untuk di-support ya, untuk studi ke luar negeri, it means your list of universities are more and less competitive. Jadi sekolahnya enggak, the requirements to be accepted or like the English proficiency requirements are generally a bit lower compared to those are in the regular list. Okay, so there are different types of LPDP, and there's also Fulbright. If you go to aminef.or.id, it will show you the Fulbright. Just what Pak Taufik experience is from Fulbright, jadi dari websitenya aminef.or.id. So please always go to the official source that I put here to find the latest and most trusted information. Jadi kalau di sini, okay, so you know now that you can, if you're looking for fully funded scholarship, which a lot of us, if not all of us, are looking for, you can go to these two first. And if you learn about Fulbright and then LPDP and you're not, you're not excited about any of them, and you want something from the university because you feel like you don't want to limit yourself after you graduate, you want to experience working there and blah, 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 with whatever reasons you have, including building your life later, which is out of our hand because we only handle the education part, but we don't like tell you cannot do that and blah, blah, blah. You just look for the university side of opportunity. Jadi universitas di Amerika itu ada yang namanya fellowship, ya kan? So it falls under financial aid. Jadi financial aid itu the big umbrella, and inside financial aid there's scholarship, fellowship. Bedanya apa? Scholarship is just given to you once you get it by fulfilling the requirements or the eligibility. For fellowship, you have to do something to give back. So in this term, fellowship itu biasanya teaching atau research assistantship. Jadi buat teman-teman yang di sini, if you are a teaching assistant atau ASDOS, ya kamu ASDOS atau asisten riset sekarang, you are on a good track if you are looking for scholarships outside of LPDP or Fulbright. But it's not a guarantee if you are a research assistant or teaching assistant right now, then you will automatically get it. No, you will have to apply for it. You have to look for the opportunity, and sometimes they're not full. Sometimes they go 50 to 100% tuition fee waiver plus stipend. Stipend itu living cost yang minimal di kota itu, dan mungkin Pak Taufik nanti bisa share juga ya Pak Taufik, especially yang kalau misalnya bawa keluarga apa gimana. That is with the standard of, I think they have like some website to check on the standard. So my point is sometimes it's not all 100% covered. So that means if there's like a minus on it or like a shortfall we call it, you need to find other types of scholarship, right? And that requires you to put more effort. Jadi teman-teman kalau mau yang lebih gampang sebenarnya LPDP atau Fulbright. Tapi kalau teman-teman idealnya mau yang dari universitas, ya teman-teman harus put extra effort gitu ya. So there's if you come to me, Kak Santika, I want to go to US to study, I want the easiest to get scholarship and the highest ranking school, I will say I don't have it. Nggak ada yang gampang, scholarship itu pasti kompetitif. PR kamu kalau mau study abroad, not only to US, especially to US, you have to think I am ready to compete, I am ready to give my best. If you want to go to study abroad and you don't have that mindset in the first place, you are already losing with your competitors. Okay, so you have to implant that first. Okay, next. Okay, ini yang list 2025, ini contoh bagaimana kalian ngecek universitas yang supported universities from LPDP, right? And this year, I think they just released the 2026 booklet very recently, just like few days ago, maybe like a week ago, so you can check. But I want to let you know that just from last year's list, there are 145 US universities on the list. And that is the most that's the biggest contributor. Jadi kamu kalau mau nyari universitas dari negara mana yang banyak juga di listnya LPDP, itu nggak ada yang nandingin US. So US is the biggest contributor for the list. So that speaks of the quality. Jadi kalau misalnya teman-teman kayak, aduh ngapain sih ke Amerika jauh, bla bla bla. If you want the highest quality of education, then the safest bet is still US for now. Okay, next. Okay, so these are the general requirements. Teman-teman bisa foto atau take notes, terserah whatever works for you. But in general, of course, you need your bachelor degree atau yang setara, misalnya D3, D4, yang setara. Yes, of course, Pak. I will share that.
We can share that through email later on, through your email.
Yes, I will share the PDF for you. And also, we have crucial information on how they can book a session to talk with us. Jadi, that's gonna be very helpful. Thank you, Pak. So we have, of course, you need the official transcript and your previous degree, and then TOEFL, IBT, or IELTS, or other English proficiency that's accepted. Ini kita ngomongin daftar ke US University-nya ya. But a lot of these requirements are also applicable for scholarship application. So if you fulfill this, you can technically apply for scholarship as well. Okay? And the next one is GRE or GMAT or other specific tests depending on your program. So if you are in the law major, di sini ada yang lagi belajar law, hukum? Nope. Oke. Kalau teman-teman yang belajar hukum biasanya misalnya mau ngambil Master of Law di Amerika, the test is not GRE or GMAT, but it's LSAT namanya. Oke, GMAT itu untuk business program, GRE itu biasa untuk di luar business program. But these are just the technicalities that you don't have to memorize. You just need to come to Education USA and I will show you why, okay? So aside from that, you need a CV or resume. That's why when you are still studying in your university, teman-teman yang di UNS atau di luar UNS, ada baiknya itu membangun CV atau resumenya dari sekarang. Oke, mau punya aktivitas kek, mau punya klub, organisasi, di luar sekolah, di luar universitas mau ngerjain apa, project apa sama teman, mau riset apa, please start. If not, then your chance to compete with others who are building their CV or resume is going to be, it's going to be hard for you to compete with them if you don't start now. Dan nanti CV kamu pas kamu mau kumpulin itu udah set tuh. You cannot just add stuff and then submit it. You cannot do that because sometimes they have a way to check it. If you write, oh, I belong to this XYZ organization in ONS, and then if they contact ONS and ask about you, because it's so many organizations in ONS, and they wonder if you're really an active student, and they kind of do a random check, right? And turns out the person or the staff in ONS replied, oh no, the student is not registered under any organizations. And you're automatically out because you violate a very fundamental ethical reasons that the US standard put very high, okay? So you cannot mess that up. So you have to start from now. And then essays. So some of them only ask for one essay, some of them ask for multiple shorter essays. And letter of recommendation, usually minimum of 2 letters, one from your academic perspective, which is usually dosen pembimbing, atau misalnya kamu punya dosen yang kayak kenal banget sama kamu dan subjek itu kamu kuasai banget atau berhubungan banget sama major yang kamu mau daftarkan, you can. And then the other one, if you already are working, you can ask from your supervisor. So usually they will want to see 2 perspectives from you, academically and professionally, but if you are a fresh graduate, you can of course submit both from the academic perspective, but I want you to have a realistic expectations that you are competing with people with working experience. Jadi kalau teman-teman yang fresh grad mau coba dulu pengalaman mendaftar sekolah ke Amerika boleh, tapi ekspektasinya tolong di adjust, bukan yang again, not like fairy tale, daftar dapat berangkat gitu ya. Okay, and then last but not least, interview. So this step is usually with, what do I call it? With the scholarship, of course, and some US university admission also have interview phase. I think it depends on the program. So for example, I have a student who are applying for global health delivery at Harvard, and they have this interview selection. So not only, all of this administrative stuff, but they want to talk to you, make sure that you are who you wrote in your essay and your CV aligns and everything. So it depends on the program and the school. It's not all school will do that. Okay, next slide. Boleh next lagi. thank you. So this is what I want to show you. I said Indonesia have a big team. Jadi kita ada 8 center. So imagine one country usually have 2 to 3 centers and we have 8. That speaks of how much the US in general, or especially US administration really want to have more Indonesian students. So we have 8 centers. We have 2 in Jakarta, 1 Surabaya, Malang, Makassar, Banda Aceh, Medan, and latest one is Samarinda. You can see the advisor's name, and my name is one of them here. And it doesn't matter which advisor or center you go to. Next. Because now you can just book it online. Oke, teman-teman bisa book online, kamu scan aja. Nanti bakal ke calendly.com/educationusa Indonesia, nempel semua. I have the printed version, jadi ada flyernya ini di meja sebelah kiri aku, sebelah kanan kalian. Itu aku taruh, tapi cuman ada 40-50 flyer. Jadi kalau teman-teman mau, bisa ambil, tapi essentially what you need is just this QR code and the link to calendly.com ini. Oke. Nanti kalau kamu scan, itu bakal ada nama advisor sama centernya di mana. And they put their brief or like their short bio or experience, so you can decide which advisor can help you better, and then they have the date and the time that you can choose. Ketemunya di Google Meet atau di Zoom. So there's no excuse because this portal is open 24/7. Oke, portal ini kamu misal tengah malam kepikiran banget nih pengen sekolah ke Amerika, getol banget gitu kan. Aduh mau nanya ini nih. Udah penasaran banget mau tahu jawabannya tapi nggak nemu gitu, misalnya you don't know how to find it gitu kan. Just go to this link, book a session, the closest one that you can find, maybe like tomorrow morning, right, after you wake up, and then just go online and meet the advisor. So we don't have a center here in Solo, but everything shifted online during the pandemic, and this is why everything that we do in terms of advising sessions shifted to the online booking, and we are grateful to do that because we reach more people in Indonesia, because again we are an archipelago country and we are so happy to receive students from all across Indonesia. Even though we don't have a center there, before COVID we need to rely on people coming in person. Now during the COVID, a lot of people actually got bored at home and then they're like, okay, let me try to study abroad. And then they find Education USA. Okay, jadi blessing in disguise banget. Next. Okay, ini official resource, jadi teman-teman kalau penasaran beneran gak sih Education USA dari pemerintah, terus semuanya gratis gitu kan, you can actually oh no, I missed one slide, but it's okay. You can definitely find it in the website educationusa.state.gov. So there are 5 steps on how we help anybody to study in US. The first one is research your option. Jadi teman-teman mau S2 kah, S3 kah, pengen major apa gitu kan, we can discuss, we can help you narrow down your options. For example, for friends who are under LPDP program right now, your list should be from the LPDP's list. That way it's easier for you. You don't have to go around 4,000 US universities finding the one that you want, and then when you want to apply for it or get accepted to that university, but it's not supported by the LPDP, right? So just go to the LPDP's list and then we will work it from there. So that's what we do in guiding you in the advising session. So again, the one that I said you can just book a session is to ask questions, review your essay, CV, whatever you need. Okay, that's the first step where you research your options. Step 2 is financing your studies. If you want to self-fund, you want to find scholarship, partial, full, we can discuss it all. Jadi kalau teman-teman datang ke aku, bilangnya Kak aku mau nyari fully funded scholarship, aku bakal bilang LPDP atau Fulbright. And then I will ask you, have you read about them, right? Ya kan Pak, we have to make comparison, right? Because they're essentially the same fully funded scholarship, just different funding. Jadi satu LPDP itu dari pemerintah Indonesia, Fulbright dari pemerintah Amerika, ekspektasinya kayak gimana, requirementnya kayak gimana, deadline-nya bedanya di mana. LPDP itu 2 kali setahun deadline-nya, Fulbright itu 1 kali aja teman-teman. Okay, so that's the difference. And the way they process the application, the applicants are also different. LPDP, if you have LOA, you will be able to skip one of the tests, like the scholastic test, they call it. For Fulbright, it doesn't matter. If you have letter of acceptance, you don't have letter of acceptance, you're treated the same way, okay? So that's the main difference. But Fulbright will apply on your behalf. LPDP, however, you need to apply yourself to the university. So that's the main difference that I usually discuss in the step 2. And I usually put step 1 and 2 together if you're a first timer meeting me online or in the consultation. Step 3 is completing your US university application. Basically all of the requirements that we talk about. Boleh mundur slide-nya ke tabel tadi. Thank you. Whoop. This one. So step 3 is basically we are open to answer any questions you have about any requirements to apply to US universities. Jadi kamu mau review essay, review CV, semuanya gratis. And there's no limitations on, only 2 review essay, only 3 times review essay, no. There's no limit. As long as you come in, you are not satisfied yet with your essay, you still have time before the deadline and you feel like you want to improve it, you can. For CV and resume, unfortunately, usually it's like 2 to 3 times maximum because there's nothing you can do about your CV. GPA kamu 3,8, that's it. You cannot like revise it to 3.9 and then 3.95 next time. You cannot do that, right? Jadi CV itu mentok di format-formatnya sama bullet point-nya lebih bagus, lebih ringkas. But that's it. Now for essay, it's different. It's where you can write anything. So there's always something to edit, right? And that is when you can tell the US university admission who you really are on top of your grades, on top of what your CV wrote there, okay? On top of your achievement, how hard it is to achieve that, what you wrote in. Jadi yang di CV kamu tuh cuma tulisannya medali emas Olimpiade apa. But how hard it is for you to study for that Olympic or to practice that Olympic. What are your sacrifices? Itu semua bisa di essay. Okay, so that's why it's very important for you to understand that essay takes time and don't come to us H-3, H-1 untuk review, and that was the first time that you do the review. And we are so confused. Like if we tell you this is not very good, and then you're like, oh, should I apply or not, right? So please come to us early on. About 1 year, at least 1 or 2 years. Ideally 2 years before you start your study, because timeline-wise, the deadline for US application is end of the year. So the deadline usually is between October, November, December, or January, February, March. But you will start in the next fall. Fall itu akhir Agustus, awal September. So if I apply last year, November 2025, for fall 2026, so that's how it works. But you need to prepare to submit in November 2025, meaning you need to come in at least a few months before the November deadline, right? That makes it almost 1.5 or 1 year, at least 1 year before you start your study, okay? So yes, step 3 basically is the most demanded service where you can just come in and essay review and everything. Yeah, that, step 3. Step 4 is applying for your student visa that can wait until you are accepted to at least 1 US university. EducationUSA can give you the step-by-step, how much in each of the step that you need to prepare, so you don't have to worry about that. The 5th step is basically pre-departure orientation, our annual event, and it's open for the public. All of our events are open for public and free of charge, but we invite those people who wants to go for the fall in that year, go for their study, right? And we invite the current student, the alumni, visa consular section officer, so that they can still ask questions if they still need it. We usually make it in June or July, so that makes sense, right? Mulainya kan kayak Agustus, September, jadi Juni, Juli itu masih ada cukup waktu kalau kalian perlu nanya atau gimana. Again, it's open for public, all of our events, webinar, and everything. Next, ke official website page lagi. There you go. So all of our events will be publicized on our Instagram, EducationUSA Indonesia, nempel semua. And then also US Embassy JKT for you guys to make it consistent gitu kan. Jadi kalau udah follow US Embassy, follow Education USA, exposure kalian sama apa yang kita lakukan itu akan lebih mudah gitu. All of our events will be posted there, the past event also. I do webinars online, and sometimes I give out the official resource for you to access anytime you want. So, and again, everything's free. It's up to you to make use of it. Teman-teman di sini juga nggak ada batas bisa bikin janji berapa kali. Jadi dalam masa preparation kamu kalau setahun kamu totalnya buat janji 20 kali, ya udah kalau kamu datang 20-20-nya ya udah 20 kali. That's it. No charge, zero. Okay? So you are the one who walk in the front and we are behind you. Yang pencet yang make decisions, you are the one who make decisions. You are the one who upload your document and press the submit button. But we are here to answer any questions you have and guide you, letting you know your options and information. All right, next. I think that's it from me. Oh, dan ini link yang, so this is what I condensed. Basically, we have a brochure, but we are transitioning into the digital version. So if you scan this QR code, you will have e-brochure. And then the next one is book advising session, which is the same, Calendly. Sama Calendly-nya tadi, sama yang Peta Indonesia. Yang ketiga, kalau nggak salah itu ke, what's the other resource that I gave? So yes, there's 3 links, but essentially this is all you need to know all about us, okay? Tadi yang 5 step itu ada di digital brochure. Jadi kalau kamu scan ini, terus kayak get to know us or about us, aku tulisnya, and then you will have the e-brochure yang 5 step yang tadi aku jelasin. Okay, next. Yep, that's it.
Okay, it's Q&A session.
Yes,
yeah.
we have
okay, please feel free
a
if
few
you do
minutes.
have a question.
Yeah.
Ya, silakan kalau ada pertanyaan. What is like the next step? Yeah, over there. Yeah.
Yes. Dari tadi di sini terus ya, Pak Taufik ya. Sebelah sini teman-teman ada nggak? Nextnya, next question, coba raise your hand nanti. Habis dari sini ke sini.
Yeah.
Boleh pertanyaannya?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I would like to share my previous experience while exploring the US universities and how it got succeeded and how it failed, both. And if you find anything missing during what I did, you can comment on that, so it will help me and also to the audience. So I was applying for the master's program basically. So what I did, I went to the QS World Ranking website.
Yep.
And I searched for the universities where there is my program, like the English linguistics or English education. Most of the universities, they were not offering a fully funded scholarship for these programs.
Yep.
Like they have a fellowship as a research assistant or like TA, teaching assistant, like you have to teach 9 hours per week or 12 hours per week, and in return, you will get the scholarship.
Yes.
So it's like a two-way relationship, you know? So I shortlisted 15 universities from them based on the subject, like my course.
Yep.
Based on the application fee, because I have to pay it as a student, like paying $90 or $60 for each university, and you know that it is going to water. You don't know if it is
of
going
course.
to, yeah.
Yes.
So I ended up with the submitted application to 9 universities.
Yep.
And got admission from 2 of them with the acceptance, like with the scholarship letter. So, but later on, when I was thinking about like why I got just 2 out of 9, though I think it was a good ratio.
Okay.
To be succeeded like in 2 out of 9 without any guidance from any senior. But they did not provide any kind of feedback that why my application has been rejected from the graduate school or the international office. So still till this date, because that admission was in 2023, but still I am thinking about this and I couldn't find the answer. Like now I am preparing for a PhD application.
Okay.
And I have to spend like, you know, $500 to $1,000 for just the application fee So I should be really careful by selecting each and every document or dropping
Yes.
the SOP and SN, each and everything
Mhm.
carefully. So it was the experience, and my question is up to you. Where do you see the loophole to fill this up in the next intake? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I hope I get your question right on like how to avoid this kind of spending, right? So that's why the Education USA 5 steps. The first one is research your options, because we need to understand that when we apply for a US university, it's a two-way thing. It's like, I see your university can give me A, B, and C. And then the university will see you can give them A, B, and C too. And that's a perfect match, right? Like, okay, I give you ABC and you get, and they are looking for ABC. So that's a perfect match. So that's why Education USA say, we are helping you to find the best fit university. That way, you can avoid applying to schools that are totally not a good match for you. So this is a very simple example for the undergraduate section, because it's easier to give a picture for people here. So a student want to apply for US University for the golf scholarship, a sports scholarship, and the sport is golf. And he or she applied to like 10 universities, only 2 of them have a golf course. So 8 of them don't have golf. They don't have a golf course. Of course, when you write an essay saying how brilliant I am, playing golf, and I got this and that medal, I met this, I met Tiger Woods, blah, 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 to this 10 universities, because the university application for the undergrad works that way with one unified platform. And then, yeah, of course, the only universities that can see this student's value or the best fit is these 2 universities. Because they cannot, if they accept this student and they don't have a golf course, when the student came in, he will be like, wait, I thought I'm gonna play golf while studying. You don't have a golf course, right? So that's what they are trying to avoid. So it's the same kind of value in the graduate school as well. They're looking for the best fit. So out of these 9 universities, those 7 that maybe rejected you, if you think about it, there might be something that you don't really like about them, or when they focus on specific research, for example, they are specifically focusing on research, and you want something more theory or practical, then it doesn't match. So something like that. Right, Pak Taufik?
Yeah, just like sometimes we also need to see like what like the expertise of the professors
Exactly.
within the field. Sometimes we just take it for granted that it is education, it is language, then we think that our
Yes.
research will match.
Yes,
But maybe
that's
the
right.
professor over there, like nobody would like to supervise for such a case. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not necessarily that our future works is not valuable within the university,
Agree.
but maybe they just do not have experts
Exactly.
that will supervise our work.
Yes, and sometimes they are very thoughtful. They think of whether or not they can support you to reach your best ability and reach your goal that you wrote in your essay. If they don't have the facility, they don't have the expert, if they're not convinced that if you're here, then we will be able to make you a very proud alumni or alum, then they might just let you go or reject you, not because you're not good enough, but because they cannot give what you deserve. So it goes both ways. I don't want anybody here to take the rejection letter very personally, because sometimes, right, it's not us that's not good enough for them, but it's them who think that they cannot give what we are looking for. Okay? So to avoid that as well, or if you are again trying for another round of application in the future, what you can do is to look for application fee waiver. So you can, if for example you are interested in 5 universities, you can email their admission office for the graduate school if you can go for the specific department. for the admission department, you can email them, self-introduce very briefly. For example, my name is Santika, I'm from Indonesia. I'm interested to apply for XYZ program for fall 2027. Is there any support that a university can give to me in the form of application fee waiver? Sometimes they can give you a waiver. And if you apply the same to 5 different schools, of course, changing the program and the university name each of them, most of the time you can get at least like 2 out of 5, depending on the funding they have and the leniency they have on that. And you can save a lot on that. All right, and I think if you get like partially funded by the university and you're looking for like, where do I find the rest of the funding, right? You can try to look for like Fulbright from your country, of course your national origin, because I think Fulbright operates on a national basis. So if your nationality is Indonesian, then it's Fulbright Indonesia. If you're from Pakistan, then you need to find Fulbright Pakistan. You can check on their website if they support partial funding, and you can go proceed with the Fulbright application, and they will negotiate with you if you want to go to a university already got accepted, but they see that you are more fit in the university called the university. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next question, maybe from here.
From
Are you
this
sure?
side? From this side, do you have a question? Oh yeah.
Yay,
Yeah.
finally. Tepuk tangan dong, tepuk tangan. The first one from this side, yay. Okay.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to meet with you and ask a question like this. Let me introduce myself first. I'm A.A. Ao, an international student from Medical Faculty of Universitas Sebelas Maret. Jadi, let's say, after I finish my bachelor degree here and I want to continue my master degree in the US, then where do I ask for guidance? Can EducationUSA Indonesia give me guidance, or shall I just connect directly with EducationUSA from my country? I might not go back to my country. I might just go directly from Indonesia to USA.
Thank you. Can you repeat where you're from?
I'm from Myanmar.
Myanmar. We have a team in Myanmar.
Yeah,
Let me Google that. At USA Myanmar. I am very confident we do have EducationUSA Myanmar. I think I met them before. EduSA. Yes, we do have EducationUSA Burma.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. There's EducationUSA Burma, they can guide you. So at all EducationUSA advisors all around the world, we are given the same training. The basic training is the same. But when you're in Indonesia, if you have some questions that are not related to your national origin, so for example, if you ask me, Santika, how do I apply international student visa to US as someone from Myanmar or Burma? I don't have the answer for you because that's specific, have to do with your nationality. But if you ask me, can you help me review my essay? I'm applying to XYZ University in the United States. If you are here, you book a session with us, then I wouldn't turn you down. So you're more than welcome to book a session with me if you want.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, maybe one more
Yes,
question.
one last question. Pak Taufik, I think we should make more sessions together
Yeah,
because
sure.
we can talk about how it's like studying in US,
yeah.
applying for Fulbright, and everything like that.
Any other question? Yeah. Okay. Here. Ya di sini ada penanya di sini untuk mic-nya.
This lady in yellow. May I know how many LPDP students under LPDP program? Can you raise your hand?
Raise your hand, LPDP.
Ada berapa? How many of you are here? 50?
No, actually 123
Wow.
right now. Yeah.
And you guys are coming from different parts of Indonesia?
Yeah, from Sabang, Merauke.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Okay. So now you know, right? If you haven't write US universities in your application, you can still try to change it. Right? You can still change it. Yes, you still have 1 year to, think about it. You can come and meet Education USA advisor, ask questions why you are not sure about US, and we can help you be more sure if you want to study in US.
Yeah.
Yes, your question?
Terima kasih Pak Taufik, terima kasih Mbak Santika. Saya mau tanya dua hal. Pertama tentang Education USA ini, setelahnya kita diterima, apakah masih kita bisa terhubung dengan Education USA, atau setelahnya ada apa nih kalau udah kita diterima? Apakah kita masih, apakah Education USA masih akan mengikuti proses kita studi ke depannya selama kita di Amerika? Apakah masih bisa terhubung? Terus yang kedua, saya mau tanya sedikit terkait dengan yang tadi Ibu Heather sempat mention tentang 3 hal, yaitu peace, security, dan prosperity. Sebenarnya bagaimana sih dinamika atau apa dan bagaimana dinamika di US sana yang paling dirasakan dan paling banyak dihadapi sama mahasiswa pelajar Indonesia di US itu? Dan terkait 3 aspek itu ya Mbak ya, peace, security, dan prosperity, dan satu lagi kalau saya boleh nambahin tentang asuransi gitu. Terima kasih.
Thank you. Pak Taufik, do you have any input on that as an international student back when on your days?
Yeah. So, well, when we're becoming international student in the US, there are actually many different challenges. It could be like where we are, like which state, for example. I was living in a different cities. First, I was in New York City, which is totally diverse. It was like 20 years ago. But then recently, I was like in Ohio, which is like totally different. Very white and very red. Yeah, and very red. So regarding the life over there, so I think like normally the university environment is very open. Yeah. Jadi yang paling perlu kita ini kan kalau kita ada di universitas itu biasanya tempatnya sangat safe untuk international community. Because we also have many international student over there. They have like a international office, they have international student corners, even they have also writing center to help us with the writing when we have a problem in writing essay for courses or for dissertation or for thesis. Yeah. And then regarding opportunity, like for example, if we have a problem financially, if we always also keep up with the information in the university, international student has a right to work on campus. Yeah, but we need also to understand like the rules. Yeah, for example, if we are Fulbright, if we got like scholarship from the university, we might not get the same. It will be reduced by the amount that we get from the university. Yeah, so. Also Fulbright, for example, for PhD, it's only 3 years. So in the 4th year, we need to find funding from the university. It is possible because we can teach, yeah, or we can do a research assistant. Yeah, there will be opportunity. Yeah, even if we don't have any scholarship when we come there, like many international students also rely on university funding, like becoming TA, research assistant, or even like any on-campus position. Yeah. So I think maybe it could answer the question, right?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much Pak Taufik. Jadi untuk pertanyaan pertama, yang Education USA akan menyertai kamu sampai mana? So if you scan the last QR code, the one with the red and white Indonesian map, where I say there's e-brochure. So there's where the 5 steps are, right? The 4th step, if you remember, is applying for student visa. Jadi itu udah harus pas udah keterima dulu nih. Kalau kamu belum keterima, if you haven't get accepted to any US universities, you do not have the document you need to apply for student visa. So once you get accepted, if you need the step-by-step on how to apply the student visa, we can give it to you. And the last one, the fifth step, pre-departure orientation, itu acara yang kita buat untuk teman-teman yang mau berangkat pada tahun itu. Jadi kita kasih briefingnya itu semacam, okay, what do you do in the first week, the first 2 weeks, by phone number, you know, make sure you know the school area, things like that. Jadi dikasih briefing, packing, bawa apa, nggak usah bawa apa, gitu-gitu. Jadi culture shock, atau kalau kamu masih ada pertanyaan visa. So we do it all the way, A to Z, A sampai Z. It depends on you if you come to us to seek the information and to consult and to follow up and to ask if you can help me in this and that. Okay? Nanti pas kamu udah di sana, if you want to keep in touch or you want to you know, contribute back to us by collaborating, making info session, sharing session with us, of course, we are more than happy. And there's no rules that says if you are already in the US as Indonesian student, then you cannot contact us if you have anything, if you have any questions or difficulties. No, you can contact us. But in the general, jadi aku udah, so this is almost my 7th year in Education USA, and I haven't meet any student yang udah berangkat ke US terus kontak aku, Kak di sini nggak ada yang bantuin aku ini, nggak ada yang bantuin aku itu. No, nothing. Kenapa? Karena ada International Student Office atau International Student Service, sama aja fungsinya. Jadi
kayak housing ya,
yes,
biasanya
housing. Kamu mau nanya, ada kerjaan part time nggak di kampus buat international student? Aku mau pulang nih buat liburan, tolong dong, aku perlu dokumen apa aja, izinnya apa aja, everything. Sampai daftar kelas, kamu kan pasti bingung dong, namanya murid internasional semuanya di bahasa Inggris juga kadang kan kagok. Kayak tadi Pak Taufik bilang, ada English Center atau Writing Center gitu. Terus ada tutoring center juga, kadang kalau subjek yang, beberapa subjek yang susah ada tutornya khusus buat course itu, misalnya chemistry 201, 202, kamu mau les di situ gratis semuanya. Tapi kalau kamu yang jadi tutornya, itu hitungannya kerjaan kampus, part time di kampus, itu kamu dibayar kalau kamu jadi tutor gitu. Cuma ada syaratnya ya gitu kan, harus daftar. Jadi intinya karena ada International Student Office atau Service, itu semua keperluan dan pertanyaan kamu sebagai murid internasional tuh di cover dan dibantu. Sampai daftar kelasnya bingung nih, daftar kelas gimana sih, portalnya aneh banget, error atau apa bla bla bla. Itu kamu tinggal datang ke kantornya, itu kamu dikasih konselor. Biasanya konselor kamu itu menangani berapa puluh, berapa ratus murid gitu, itu udah diallocate sama mereka. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you have any questions or difficulties, you can still contact Education USA. Kalau kita nggak bisa bantu, kita bakal cariin kamu bisa kontak siapa. Misalnya bisa kontak ke Dubes Indonesia kah, atau misalnya tahu nggak ada namanya Permias, PERMIAS, itu perkumpulan mahasiswa Indonesia di Amerika Serikat, hampir ada di setiap state. Dan itu isinya orang Indonesia pastinya. Jadi orang Indonesia yang studi di sana itu udah auto Permias member, cuma kamu mau aktif apa enggak gitu aja bedanya. Oke? Untuk insurance, semua international students itu biasanya udah di-include untuk international student insurance di uang sekolahnya. Jadi biasa tuition, fees itu bisa kayak lab atau apa bla bla bla. Terus insurance biasa di line ketiga atau yang bawahnya itu insurance kamu. Gitu. Kecuali kalau kamu punya asuransi yang sudah kamu cek ke sekolah itu dan sekolah itu terima, ya udah nggak apa-apa, ini bisa kita terima, bisa nge-cover, kamu nggak usah bayar insurance lagi. Tapi itu ribet ya menurut aku ya. Jadi ya udah bayar insurance yang memang udah pasti tercover aja gitu loh. Dan itu diharuskan sebenarnya sama semua sekolah di Amerika yang menerima murid internasional. They must sign up their international students for health insurance. Jadi kamu terjamin di situ. Oke? Nah, untuk kampus apa tadi? Safety, prosperity, and ya itu insurance udah lah ya pasti di cover. Untuk safety menurut aku again kayak kata Pak Taufik, di kampus area itu sangat safe. Ya teman-teman di minggu pertama atau di hari pertama tentunya orientation itu jangan di skip. International Student Orientation, new student orientation. Don't skip it, ikut. yang in person gitu. Jadi kamu terbang dari Indonesia ke Amerika itu sebelum orientasinya. Jadi kamu join in person kalau itu in person ya. Kamu join, kamu tanya-tanya lah gitu kan. Ini areanya seperti apa, naik bus kayak gimana, bla 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 bla. Jadi kamu tahu area yang nggak usah kamu datengin sendiri malam-malam gitu loh. Nah itu kan safety. And a lot of safety is up to us. How we take care of ourselves gitu. How we choose your lifestyle gitu. How you choose your lifestyle. Contohnya, diajak pergi malam-malam jam 12, jam 1 subuh. If you say yes to that, you put yourself at greater risk. Compared to misalnya kamu limit yourself. Oh udahlah pokoknya kalau udah jam 9 udah saatnya aku istirahat, I'm just not going anywhere. Right? You're more safe compared to those who say yes to after midnight invitations gitu. Itu for example. Sama misalnya sesimpel misalnya ini Pak Taufik ya, pakai earbuds. Ya kan? Kan di situ suka jalan kaki, di situ banyak orang yang naik sepeda di kampus gitu kan. If you put earbuds atau earphone, kamu volumenya tinggi, volumenya kencang, terus itu yang misalnya noise cancellation, sekarang kan canggih ya, noise cancellation. Kamu nggak dengar tuh misalnya orang panggil kamu dari belakang, suruh kamu hati-hati atau apa. You don't hear that, and yeah, itu part of how you take care of yourself in terms of safety, gitu. But for accidents, I'm so sorry, but accidents happens everywhere, anywhere, and you cannot expect. Namanya juga accident, gitu kan. Jadi for accidents, again, we just don't have a way to say that it didn't happen. But what we can do is to protect ourselves the best way that we can, so that we can avoid or at least kalaupun terjadi nggak kena yang parah gitu. Yeah, I hope that answers your questions. If you have more, feel free to scan the QR code. Okay. Yes, we ran out of time.
We run out of the time, but you can still continue. What is it? If you need like advices, you know how to contact Mbak Santika, yeah, at Education USA. So yeah, I think research is very important before, like for everything. Before we decide to continue study anywhere, we need to research, yeah, not only academically but also socially and culturally, yeah, including if we would like to continue study in the USA. So I hope that this session will open our, horizon and give us information about how to continue our education in USA. And of course, thank you to Mbak Santika from Education USA. Please give her a big applause. Yeah, thank you so much, yeah, Mbak Santika. So again, thank you, yeah, for your kind attention until the end of the session. Hopefully that you will send me message or email saying, Pak Taufik, now I'm studying in the USA. Yeah. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Session. Do you have something to close?
I'm good, Pak Taufik. Thank you so much for the opportunity and everyone who's involved in making this great event happening. I'm sure all of you are here for a reason and being exposed to this information, this valuable information. Again, guys, it's open for public. Jadi semua orang bisa mengakses ini, but you guys are here and get this information, so do something with it, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, and I wish you all a great evening and also great weekend. And you can continue the session tomorrow in the Colomadu if you want to have more more personal information. But Santika will also be there. I think Aminef will be there too. Aminef for Fulbright will also be there. If you would like to have a further information in a more a personal way, there will be their booth in the program. The complete information will be shared by the MC. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for everyone of us here today. Oh my God, we have survived the long session, but hopefully the tiredness and the sleepiness that we all face here is going to fruit sometimes later in the near future. Amin. And ladies and gentlemen, now that the material session is done, it is time for me to close this event. But before that, I would like to give another information regarding another exciting event held by the US Embassy. So tomorrow on February 7th, di tanggal 7 Februari besok, there will be another event just like this, same, free as well. Ada event yang gak kalah serunya yang akan dilaksanakan di Sarkara Hall de Colomadu. There will be another similar event that is held in Sarkara Hall, Colomadu. Acaranya dari jam 3 sore hingga malam. The event is going to be from 3 p.m. until the evening. And at the afternoon, there will be English teaching from RELO. Akan ada pembelajaran bahasa Inggris dari RELO. Akan ada sharing session juga dengan alumni-alumni pertukaran di United States. Juga ada masterclass di sana. Kemudian di malamnya akan ada konser musik Bapak Ibu. Kolaborasi antara seniman Amerika dan seniman Indonesia. There will be collaboration between American and Indonesian musician that has a specific genre, which is hip hop. So, if you're wondering how that music will be, make sure to attend at tomorrow's event at Sarkara Hall di Colomadu. There will be also an interactive booth from US Embassy Jakarta, from Aminef, from Art America, and also local small to medium enterprises, or UMKM. And for further info, kindly follow the Instagram of US Embassy Jakarta at US Embassy JKT, US Embassy JKT. And we have our friends here that is ready to hand out some small memorabilia for all of you ladies and gentlemen. Bisa dikasih tahu Kak, mana ini memorabilianya? Bisa dikasih lihat? Nah, itu silakan. Kira-kira siapa yang mau? Mbak Mas yang ada di sini? Nah, Kak, bisa diangkat lagi nggak Kak? Biar kelihatan. Nah, coba bisa dikasih langsung aja Kak? Bisa dibagiin Kak? Langsung aja, langsung dibagiin. Cuma berdua ya kalian ya? Oh my God. Coba dari situ bisa langsung dibagiin ke sini? Iya, silakan bisa dibagiin, bisa dilihat biar masing-masing bisa melihat ya. Iya, terima kasih. Teman-teman yang lain bisa dibantu. Sepertinya kesusahan ya, cuma 2 orang ya. Oke, bisa dilihat ya Bapak Ibu, Mas Mbak semuanya sudah dapat. Nah juga ini adalah flyer dari kegiatan besok Mas Mbak Bapak Ibu semuanya 7 Februari. Itu barangkali kalau tahu artisnya itu Jogja Hip Hop Foundation berkolaborasi dengan Next Level dari US Embassy Jakarta. Nah itu untuk rundownnya Bapak Ibu, bisa dicermati untuk sore lebih ke edukatif dan kalau untuk yang malam itu konser musik. Baik, begitu Bapak Ibu. Juga yang barusan dibagikan kepada Bapak Ibu dan Mas Mbak semuanya adalah QR code dan akun Instagram official dari US Embassy, bisa di follow supaya tidak ketinggalan informasi-informasi menarik selanjutnya. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I think we need to come to the next and final event of today, which is closing. I, representing the whole committee, would like to give deepest, sincere gratitude to all of you for attending today's event. I, representing the whole committee, would also like to apologize for any inconveniences that occurred during the event. It has been Surya. It has been an honor to guide today's event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good day.